Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Emily.
And I'm Sydney. Welcome to the season finale of Sneak Peek.
For our last episode of the semester, we share some binge-worthy TV updates, get a little political, and say goodbye to two amazing longtime Sneak Peekers.
It's going to be a great show, so let's dive right in.
Good news for fans of NBC's hit series This Is Us, as the fifth season premiered last week. Balancing seismic 2020 events with its ongoing story, the 2-hour premiere succeeds by dialing down the drama and spotlighting its best character played by Emmy winner Sterling K. Brown.
Another show returning to our TV screens is the Netflix drama The Crown. Season 4 will be released on November 15th with Olivia Colman as Elizabeth II. Also returning to reprise their roles are Tobias Menzies and Helena Bonham Carter. However, there will be another casting for the final 2 seasons of the series.
In other news, we have to address the elephant in the room, Kanye. Kanye ran in the presidential election, and while the votes for him were extremely low, they were not zero. Kanye managed to get 60,000 votes for president, which is troubling to say the least.
In calling all Stevie Nicks and Miley Cyrus fans, Miley just released Edge of Midnight, a Midnight Sky remix that matches up her current single with Edge of 17, the hit song from Nick's first solo album, Belladonna, back in 1981.
In other news, Disney announced another shakeup to the studio's release calendar, postponing Ryan Reynolds' action comedy Free Guy and Death on the Nile, the follow-up to Kenneth Branagh's hit The Murder on the Orient Express. Free Guy was slated for December 11th, and Death on the Nile was set to debut on December 18th, but neither have new release dates.
And speaking of new things to watch at home, we still can't get enough of the new season of The Bachelorette.
We have Hunter here giving us a recap of the latest episode, as well as his predictions for the future. Take it away, Hunter.
Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Hunter Gasway, and I'm here to catch you up on this year's season of The Bachelorette. We are currently witnessing the most dramatic, exciting, shocking season ever as Clare Crawley begins her Bachelorette journey. Clare is a Bachelor Nation veteran as she competed on Juan Pablo's season of The Bachelor, twice in Paradise, and even got engaged previously on The Bachelor Winter Games. This season is like nothing you've ever seen before, in more ways than one. The contestants all started their journey to Clare's heart with 4 weeks of quarantine. Finally, after they all tested negative for COVID-19, they were ready to test positive for love. All the men strutted their stuff on limo night. Elaborate entrances included a full suit of armor, a hamster ball, a straight jacket, and even a Rolls Royce. But only one man truly made an impression. When Party City costume model Dale Moss stepped out of the limo, Clare was certain she had just met her husband. The first round of dates got off to a weird but entertaining start. The love language group date was all fun and games until Dale stole the show. The date was so awkward and cringy that I don't even want to elaborate. However, the second date somehow surpassed the first in awkward tension. All bets are off when Claire's the dodgeball referee, but not just bets, shirts and pants as well. The losing dodgeball team left the game without getting any time with Claire and without their dignity. Yosef, who wasn't even on the date, took personal offense to how the date ended. However, at the winner's cocktail party, there was one loser. Brandon's lack of insta-stalking Claire ended up getting him sent home immediately. The following rose ceremony was cut short when Yosef decided he'd had enough of Claire's behavior. How dare she treat this as some sort of competition for her love? He told her off for being classless, saying he expected better from the oldest bachelorette, before being escorted out. As you can imagine, Claire had a meltdown, but luckily, Superman Dale was there to come to her rescue. From that moment on, Claire was absolutely hypnotized by him. She canceled the group day the next day to cut straight to the cocktail party. At the start of the cocktail party, Dale gave a big speech about brotherhood amongst the guys, which she might have well ended with saying psych, because Dale then stole Claire away for an hour of steamy one-on-one time. After that night, none of the guys stood a chance. On Claire's next one-on-one date, she said she wished it had been with Dale instead. In fact, she was so uninterested in the guy she was on the date with, I don't even remember his name. The next troop date was an award-style roast. There were no breakout comedy stars, but there was a clear star of the show. You guessed it, Dale. All the guys took digs at Dale for saying he was the best suited for Claire. And while Dale was a good sport about it, Claire took personal offense to them talking about her fiancé like that. She spent the rest of the group date, which Dale wasn't even on, talking about him and asking the other men about him. At that point, it's very clear that Claire only has eyes for Dale. And when he finally gets his one-on-one date, they seal the deal by confessing their love for each other as they're serenaded by the massively talented Chris and Bree from Bachelor Listen to Your Heart. I was especially shocked when they spent the night together in Claire's hotel room, considering the past emphasis on getting to the fantasy suites. And if you thought that was a dramatic break from protocol, just wait, there's more. Chris Harrison, the world's best wingman, sat down with Claire to tell her if she's found true love, then there's only one thing left to do: propose. But first she had to tell the other guys to get lost. Claire set Bachelor Nation and probably the world record by breaking up with 16 men at the same time. They took it surprisingly well. It's a fairy tale ending for Dale and Claire, who seem to be happily engaged, which is especially astounding since they had only met about a week and a half beforehand. Don't feel too bad for the other guys, though. Their journey isn't over yet. Tayshia, the season's real bachelorette, is on her way. Will love be easy for easy this time? Will more be revealed about Joe and Brandon's bromance? And will Bennett finally reveal that he's truly Superman? All this and more as the season's just getting started, and I can't wait to see how it ends. Back to the hosts.
That was quite a trip.
I'm in shock. I can't wait to see what else this season has in store.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. Then we'll be back for another review. See you soon.
Welcome back, everyone.
We all know the past few weeks in American politics have been quite hectic, to say the least.
Although politics can be a stressful topic to talk about, it's good to stay educated, and an easy way to start can simply be watching movies.
That's why Kayla is here to give us her rundown on her favorite political movies. Take it away, Kayla.
Hello, sneak peekers. I know you're all still recovering from the election, and politics is probably the last thing you want to think about right now. But I'm still in the spirit, and it's important to stay up to date and remember your history. Luckily, there's a number of films out there that can help you do just that. I put together a list of my favorite political-themed films that are not only entertaining, but incredibly informative as well. 13 Days, directed by Roger Donaldson, showcases the inside of the White House and the Kennedy administration during the incredibly tense Cuban Missile Crisis. According to IMDb, President Kennedy set up recording machines during the meetings regarding the crisis, and much of the dialogue in the film is actually based on those recordings. True to the tagline of the film, "You'll never believe how close we came," to what could have been a massively destructive war with the Soviet Union. The film itself is not perfect, but 13 Days explores an important event that is otherwise glossed over in our standard US history classes. The Trial of Chicago 7, a recent Netflix release, recounts the true story of 7 activists and their controversial trial after the uprisings at the Democratic National Convention in 1968. Written and directed by Aaron Sorkin, the key themes and incidents highlighted in the story mirror the conflicts and dysfunction within present-day America. It was one of those films where right after I finished watching, I immediately turned to Google to research and learn more. I was never taught about the Chicago 7 in school. I don't know about y'all. The story serves as an important reminder of the ongoing fight for equality and the importance of working together to fix our country's mistakes and injustices. The Post, directed by Steven Spielberg, details the complicated story of Kay Graham's decision to publish the Pentagon Papers, which were highly classified documents that exposed the questionable choices and actions by 4 US presidents in relation to the Vietnam War. I loved seeing a strong female lead, played by the wonderful Meryl Streep, and was shocked at how much I had never learned in regard to the Pentagon Papers and the whistleblower event. My final recommendation is one of those films that everyone should watch at least once. All the President's Men, directed by Alan J. Palooka, tells the story of the Washington Post reporters, Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, as they uncover the scandalous details of the Nixon administration and Watergate. It's a story we're all familiar with, but the film takes us step by step into how the Watergate break-in was eventually connected back to the White House. According to IMDb, nothing was allowed into the script unless it had been fact-checked and verified by sources. This movie highlights the role that newspapers and the media play in holding powerful individuals accountable for their actions and providing the factual truth for all Americans. This is just a short list of engaging and informative political films that have been produced over the years, so feel free to use this list as inspiration to find even more amazingly politically charged movies. And remember, it's important to fact-check everything you see in here. Have your own recommendations, tweet us your thoughts at Sneak Peek TV. That's all from me, now back to the hosts.
What a great list. Hopefully they're less dramatic than the 2020 election. I'm not sure I can handle any more intensity.
Agreed. So on a lighter note, thousands of fans fell in love with The Mandalorian when it first released its first season last November.
After a long year of waiting, Disney Plus has finally released its second season, just in time for all of us to binge watch after midterms.
So let's take a look at Ryan's review of the latest season.
Hey, one of last season's biggest hits, The Mandalorian, is back for its second season, premiering weekly on Fridays on Disney+. The show, set after the end of the original Star Wars trilogy, was one of my favorite binges last year, but what new directions is the second season taking, and can they keep up the momentum from the first season? Well, let's find out. The premiere episode of Season 2, titled Chapter 9, The Marshal, was directed by Jon Favreau. Favreau is the creator of the series and is perhaps best known for directing Iron Man and the Jungle Book and Lion King remakes. This is also the first episode of the series he himself has directed, with episodes normally being directed by Clone Wars producer-director Dave Filoni, or guest directors like Bryce Dallas Howard or Taika Waititi. The premiere starred Pedro Pascal back as the titular Mandalorian and guest starred Timothy Olyphant as a marshal of desert town Mos Pelgo, who protects the town thanks to his Mandalorian armor with mysterious origins. In order to reacquire the armor, which he argues belongs to his people, Mando agrees to help the marshal kill a giant krayt dragon that has been terrorizing the town. But in doing so, the pair have to make some unlikely allies. This episode is notable for being the longest thus far in the series, clocking in at 52 minutes, where most episodes last season ranged from 30 to 45 minutes. The story definitely didn't feel long though, and I think the longer runtime definitely helped flesh out the story. I do think parts lagged a little bit, but ultimately I thought the pacing was great, and I would definitely be down for more longer episodes. I thought as a whole, this episode did a lot of things really right. I mean, the technical work is astounding as always. While the series as a whole owes a lot to the Western genre, you can really feel the influence of the genre specifically in this episode, particularly in the cinematography. The sound mixing and the editing really helped boost up some of the more tense or action-packed scenes. I was also really impressed by the visual effects, especially the effects work on the krayt dragon itself. I mean, the effects in the show are normally good, but it is still TV, and sometimes they do look a little plastic. But the krayt dragon here and the final encounter with it all looked like cinematic level effects work, which was great to see. Pedro Pascal continues to do great work as the Mandalorian, giving a great sense of character despite being completely covered in armor. I also really liked Timothy Olyphant here and thought he was a great guest star. And I do wish they used the child, aka Baby Yoda, more in this episode, but I understand that they don't want to rely simply on Baby Yoda's charms. Baby Yoda's really, really cute. I think there's a lot of great stuff happening here in the premiere, and there are a lot of great ways they can take the story over the rest of the season. They teased Boba Fett in the series, whose armor was used by the Marshal and is now in possession of the Mandalorian, and it'll be so interesting to see if and how they use him in the future. I'm also curious about the status of Moff Gideon, played by the wonderful Giancarlo Esposito, who is the villain at the end of the first season and is still very much alive and probably very angry following last year's finale. The season as a whole is supposedly about Mando returning the child, aka Baby Yoda, to the Jedi, and so I'm curious how heavily they're going to use the Jedi in the series and which Jedi we'll see. Ahsoka from Clone Wars is supposedly in the season, and I'm really excited to see her. But for now, we just have to wait week by week for new episodes. The Marshal wasn't the best episode of the series. I still prefer some of the Season 1 outings, especially the Season 1 finale. However, it was still a wonderful episode, and I hope as the season ramps up, it only continues to get better and better. The Mandalorian was one of my favorite shows last year, and if The Marshal is any indication, we're in for another great season. Thanks for watching, may the Force be with you, and back to the hosts.
Thank you, Ryan.
Before we wrap up our episode, we have one more very special panel after this quick commercial break. You don't want to miss it. Sneak Peek has been like a second family to all of us away at college.
We've all shared so many special memories together, but not nearly as much as these two we're about to hear from.
That's right. Our very special seniors and hardworking executive producers, Valerie and Catherine, will be moving to New York for the spring semester, making this episode their very last.
We're so proud and happy for them, but we're all going to miss them so much. So they've sat down with fellow EP Olivia to celebrate their time here and give us their final goodbye.
I'm already tearing up. Take it away, ladies.
Hey Sneak Peekers! I'm here to lead a panel discussion with my fellow executive producers, Valerie Trevino and Catherine Harpold. Both Catherine and Valerie have plans to graduate next semester, but will be leaving us this December to head to New York for the spring. So, first of all, how are y'all feeling about your time with Sneak Peek almost being over?
I started right when I came in as a freshman, and when I think about it too long, I remember all of those things, and I was just a little volunteer, coming into the meetings and just loving it and staying, and I haven't had a chance, it hasn't hit me yet. I haven't really processed that it's ending, but I think more of, we're going to New York. That's amazing. That's fun. I think we've both kind of made peace with it at this point, and, we're going to miss it for sure, but at least there's a lot of things to look forward to.
Yeah. So what was y'all's favorite part of being in Sneak Peek as a whole?
Everything we got to do was so cool, and the experiences we got to be a part of were amazing. But honestly, what kept me around were the people. Since the three of us have been in it the same amount of time, and throughout it, we've been together. We've seen the seniors before us, all the people older than us, the people younger than us, and they every single person in Sneak Peek is so unique and adds their own value to the show that not being around them, it's just going to be kind of different.
Absolutely. I miss all of the people who came before us, and all of the people who have come now. We see how excited they are about it, and I remember how excited we were when we started, and I think it's there's a lot to miss. This was a huge part of our college careers, and for me, it really cemented my passion for TV. And now working with Sneak Peek, I know what I want to do with the rest of my life. And I think that's amazing. That's such a great thing that it gave me. And I'm going to remember these people forever. The people who came before us, the old EPs, we still keep in touch with them, and they're so helpful. They're just good people to know. And I hope one day we can be those people for the volunteers now. I hope they look up to us the same way we look up to our past EPs.
Yeah. Truly, college would not have been the same without Sneak Peek.
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine a college experience without Sneak Peek.
Yeah. Do y'all have any specific fun memories or funny memories from Sneak Peek?
My favorite memory would probably be my Sterling Knight interview. I'll remember that forever. That was a really cool opportunity. And every red carpet interview we did, that's amazing how many college students get to walk red carpets and interview celebrities. That's one of my favorite experiences. Mm-hmm. And I think the funniest would be every time, when we used to be in the studio, every time we made a mistake, it was funny.
Classic.
Watched every time I was on. So I would always, but I could count on those text messages after the show was over, you did great, you looked awesome, but we couldn't hear you, or we saw that mistake you made, or you accidentally said this, you did that. And it's watching the screenshots back and seeing how ridiculous you can look on camera. Those are probably my favorite memories. I love seeing those.
Yeah, those are great. I would say I have a 2-part memory. I loved being in the control room during shows, and it was just so much fun watching everyone do everything in the studio, but back in the control room, just the conversations we would have and learning how to do things that I literally don't know how else I would ever learn how to do these things until I graduated college. Learning how to work TriCaster, I mean, that is no easy deal. And I don't know, it's just cool. The memories of doing these things together as a team are just, they're such small memories, but they're honestly what made and what still makes Sneak Peek so great. I remember 2 South bys in a row, Olivia and I, like, after having carpets at the Zach Theater, would walk, like, barefoot to Juice Land across the street because we had been standing on our feet for, like, so long, like hours and hours, because we would get to these carpets so early just to get a spot. And then it would be like 9 o'clock and we'd be like, okay, I need to sit down and I cannot walk in these heels. And so we would like literally cross busy streets in our like bare feet. And like those moments are just like, the red carpets are amazing and everything, but like those go by so fast and they're such a blur that like the special times are like before the red carpet when you're like, are we gonna get on or are we not? Like, and you see the celebrity come and you're like, oh my gosh, Jon Hamm, and I don't know, those are just some amazing moments that I literally can't describe unless you've also experienced the same thing, which is such a cool feeling.
To end the panel, I just want to ask y'all, do you have any advice for someone who's maybe new to Sneak Peek or who maybe wants to join Sneak Peek?
I think I would say I wish we were there to
I agree.
you. Appreciate the studio time because you never know when it's going to be ripped away from you and you can never go back to the studio again. So appreciate roll with the punches. Like no show is perfect. There's going to be a mistake every time, but you have to be quick on your feet, make the decisions and roll with it and not take it too hard. And like to make friends with these people, enjoy it. I'm going to miss everybody. I loved working with the people that we got to work with and like the friends that, I've made on the show. Like I'm going to appreciate it forever. This was amazing. It's such a great experience.
Never turn down the opportunities that Sneak Peek gives you and take what it gives you and do more with it. Like, I don't know, just the amount of times that like us as student journalists being on red carpets, like if they say no, like do something about it. Or like there's always some way to like still persevere and like get through and get what you want in like a friendly manner, of course. But like I just learned that like it just gave me such a like good outlook on like doing things and just going for it. And if you have a segment you want to pitch it. If you want to read something on air, do it. Like literally, this is the time to mess up. And also, people love students and student journalists. And I just really appreciated my time as like being kind of in this learning environment and like having all of these opportunities to kind of like take and run with it. And I don't know, just there were a lot of times when like we were given opportunities to do like sit down interviews or to like try a new position in the studio and always say yes. Cause I don't remember it. Like, I think it's better to learn something from it, even if you mess up rather than regret you didn't do it or to just stand on the sidelines.
Well, thank you so much for participating in this panel. We're going to miss you both a ton and we cannot wait to see like all the amazing things that you do in New York and then for years to come after that. So yeah, that's all from us. Now back to the hosts.
We're going to miss our seniors so much, but we're so excited to see where the future will take them. Thank you, Valerie and Catherine, for all your work and all the amazing memories you've given us.
And to our viewers, we would like to thank you too for sticking with us through such a crazy semester.
I know things were a bit different this time around, but you'll definitely see us back in the studio soon. We hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your year, and we'll see you next semester. Good night.